Good morning, guys. Welcome to my replay viewers. Thank you guys so much for jumping in, checking out my broadcast. Sorry I missed you live, but so glad you guys took some time to check it out. Welcome to all you guys that are listening on the podcast, and welcome to all you guys that are joining me live this morning. Great morning to you, Jacqueline. Great morning to you, Tracy. Adam, good morning to you. Alex, good morning to you. I see you, all you guys that are on YouTube rolling in. Sherry, great morning to you from Nashville. Appreciate you guys coming in this morning. We're going to talk today and all this week, guys, about my client conversion formula. And this is going to be kind of a fun process this week. This is really going to be more like a client conversion workshop. So I have broken up my 8-step strategy. It's something that I've taught before, but I've taught it in a much more condensed setting. I'm going to be taking my 8-step strategy and how to take social media interactions and convert them into paying clients with ease. We're going to break this down over the course of 3 days, and I'm going to teach this in a workshop style format. So each day I'm going to give you a chunk of the puzzle, and I'm going to challenge you to do some work, take some action. Meet me right back here tomorrow, and we're going to continue this conversation all throughout this week. So excited to have you here. Excited to unpack this for you. Camille, great morning to you. Nice to see you, my friend. Jacqueline, good morning to you. Glenda, good morning to you. Y'all are amazing, and I appreciate you. All you guys that know me, you know who I am. You know how I roll. I would love for you to hit that share button and share this out to your people. Get it out to your tribe. Get anybody in this conversation that you think we want to hang out with us and take part in what we're learning this morning. And if anybody's brand new, if you have never seen me before, if you have no idea who I am, I would love for you to let me know if it is your first time. If you want to give me a hashtag first time in the chat stream, I would love to know it was your first time, and my crew would love to make you feel welcome. So let me know if it is the first time you've ever joined in with us. And lastly, guys, I very much appreciate every single one of y'all that is checking this out on the replay. Those guys that are on the replay, I would love for you to know that you can comment and interact with this broadcast. I would love for you to give me a hashtag replay. I do see those comments, and I do respond to those as well, so I'd love to know that you were here, all right? Also, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to give me a like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. I appreciate you. I bring it to you hot and clear every single day, and I'd love for you to be following me, guys. On that note, we're gonna roll, because you know I do not waste my time, and I choose not to waste yours, so let's jam. All right, whoop. There we go. There you go, guys. That's who I am. That's what I do. Justin Kaplan Pro is my name. JustinKaplanPro.com is my website. I'm a startup business mentor and a branding strategist that specializes in helping startup entrepreneurs turn your passion, your gifting, your idea into a profitable and sustainable brand that rises up in this challenging digital marketplace to draw in the 21st century consumers that want and need what you have to offer. Guys, I broadcast live every single weekday morning from Tuesday through Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hooking you guys up with business building tips, hacks, and principles, anything I can give you to help you grow your business, expand your ministry, bring your vision to life, and grow that brand of yours online in this digital marketplace. All right? We're going to dive straight into this. Cat, what's up, girl? Thanks for coming in. Maggie, great morning to you. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are amazing. We're talking today about our client conversion formula. I'm going to be hooking you guys up this week with my exact 8-step process for how I turn social media interactions into paying clients. Now, before, when I've taught this, I've packed it all into one broadcast, and I struggle to get through it in anything less than an hour. Usually it's more like 90 minutes. It's just a long broadcast. So what I'm going to give you is I'm going to break it up this week, and we're going to be talking about this conversation all 3 days, today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, today, tomorrow, and Thursday. And I'm going to be just kind of walking you through each step of the process. I'm going to give you a chunk today, and I'm going to challenge you to take what I give you today, put some thoughts around it, do the work around it, and then come back here tomorrow, and I'm going to give you the next piece of that puzzle, all right? As always, I'll summarize my points for you at the end of the broadcast, but I do challenge you to take your own notes and capture the information that applies to you, all right? My quote of the day that I'm going to give you today is from a woman named Tiffani Bova, who says, "How you sell matters, what you sell matters, but how your customers feel when they engage with you is what trumps everything else. Purchase decisions are driven by feelings." I'm going to say that again. How you sell matters, what you sell matters, but how your customers feel when they engage with you is what trumps everything else. Purchase decisions are driven by feelings. So we're going to touch on those feelings today. We're gonna make sure that everything that we're doing with our marketing and our branding and how we're presenting our products and our services to our individual audiences is doing so in a way that's going to really heighten the emotion and the feeling that's going to make people, that's going to drive the purchase decision that we're trying to get them to. All right. The first thing I'm going to give you, only going to give you guys 2 points today of the 8 because these 2 are incredibly important and I want to spend some time on them. All right. So number 1, I'd love for you to write this down if you're taking notes. Number 1 is attraction begins with definition. So you really need to ask yourself, who are you wanting to focus on in this season? Now, if you've been in business for any period of time, I'm sure you've probably taken time to define what you would describe as your target audience or your target avatar or your ideal client. I think we all go through that process, and I've unpacked that in a lot of different ways because the target audience conversation can be muddied up a bit sometimes. I think a lot of people get a little bit too deep in that. We don't have to go so deep where, in my personal opinion, you don't need to. I don't worry about what color the skin is, whether they're married, not married, whether they have a college education or not. I'm not worried about all those things. I'm worried about, for my business, if somebody asks me who I serve, I specialize in serving goal-driven individuals who have a very specific gifting that serves a very specific type of clientele and wants to build a business from it. That's it. That's who I serve. Goal-driven individuals who have a very specific gifting that serves a very specific type of clientele and wants to build a business from it. I don't care what color your skin is. I don't care if you're a man, you're a woman, you're married, you're divorced. I don't care about any of that. None of that matters to me. All I care is if you are a goal-driven individual, meaning you have goals, you have aspirations, and you are willing to do the work to pursue those, you're my person. If you have a very specific gifting that serves an idea that serves a very specific type of clientele and you have a desire to build a business from it, I can help you. That's my target clientele. So globally, that is my target audience. So everyone that I serve fits in that umbrella in some way. But when I ask you this question, attraction begins with definition. What or who are you wanting to focus on right now? The reason why I ask you this is because we have to get really, really narrow on exactly what it is we are wanting to accomplish in this season. Because every season that we go through comes with its own unique challenges and its own unique opportunities. Somebody want to give me an amen to that? Great morning to you, Rebecca, and great morning to you, Buffy, Jamie. Good morning to you, Shirley. I see all y'all. Thanks for coming in. All right, so what I want you to ask yourself is, of all the people that you could be reaching out to, of all the things that you could be offering to your audience, what's timely right now? So let me give you an example. So this is how I do it. If I'm gonna, because really what we're doing right now is we're beginning with the end in mind. You've probably heard that before. That whenever you're going to start a marketing campaign or a branding process or anything to do with your business, you always want to begin with the end in mind. You always want to start knowing where you're trying to finish, right? So if you ever start down the road into a venture without knowing what you're trying to get to, the process is going to be a little sketchy and you're probably not going to get anywhere near what your goal really is. So you always want to begin with the end in mind. So what we're doing right now is we want to establish what our end in mind is. If you want to learn how to attract paying clients, you want to establish how you can convert social media interactions into paying clients. Before we can figure out what we're going to do on social media, we got to know what we're trying to lead these people to. Because if you want paying clients, what we need to establish is what they're paying you for. All right, so what exactly are they going to purchase in this season right now? So when I do this for myself and I think about who or what I want to focus on, what I do is I think about the types of people that I serve, the types of issues that they have, and which one I want to narrow my focus on right now. So I start with focus, then I establish who, and then I establish what. I would like you to write that down if you're taking notes. So when I'm trying to figure out what do I focus on in this season, what do I sell in this season, what do I offer in this season, I start with what particular thing do I want to focus on, who needs that, and what do I offer them. So for example, one thing that I could focus on, and I've actually spent a good bit of time focusing on this over the past couple weeks, is mindset and discipline. Because I know, again, going back to my target audience is goal-driven individuals who have a very specific gifting that serves a very specific type of clientele and wants to build a business from it. I know those people are my global target audience, but I also know that there's some of those people, not all of them, that's important. I said not all of them. Some of them, a portion of those people are really, really wrestling with mindset right now. They're really wrestling with discipline right now. They're really wrestling with focus and trying to figure out how do I be as effective as possible in this season. Are you guys still with me? Because my screen's frozen up. Oh man, I'm so frozen. Why is my video frozen? All right, y'all, we're back. I don't know what happened. This is in the middle of my broadcast, and my broadcast software just completely crashed on me. Such as doing live videos. So sorry about that, guys. Welcome back in. Share it out. Would you please get it out to the people that need it so we can pick up our conversation where we left off. Camille, I see you. Great 1, 2, Sherry, Michelle. Thanks for coming back, guys. I appreciate you. So in case you're catching this video, the second video, y'all, we're about 10 minutes into the conversation already. I've already done kind of the setup of this conversation, and I'm not going to go back and regurgitate it, all right? So we're just going to keep on talking where I left off. So if you need to pick up the beginning, you need to watch the video that's attached to this, and sorry that this got split up, all right? So welcome back to all of y'all. We're going to continue right on going. So again, in this target audience conversation, what we need to focus on is where, of all the people that I can serve, where do we want to put our focus right now? So again, if my target audience, my global target audience, is I serve goal-driven individuals who have a very specific gifting that serves a very specific type of clientele and wants to build a business from it, that's my clientele. That's who I work with, all right? So every one of us, if you're a business owner, every one of you have a global umbrella audience. That is your key audience. That's who you serve. However, we also know that while I have that global audience, there's segments of that audience that are dealing with certain things and need help in certain areas. So there's a chunk of my audience that may be wrestling with mindset and discipline, and they're really struggling with focus and knowing what to work on and how to work on it. But then I might have another chunk of audience that is perfectly fine with their discipline and their focus. Their mindset's great, but they're trying to build something that they can't figure out. They need more brainstorming. They need more ideas. They need more creativity. Then I may have another chunk of audience who's fine with focus. They're great with creativity, but they need to figure out how to scale. They need to figure out how to be really, really strategic with their content strategy. But all of those people fall under the same umbrella of my target audience. Put a 1 in the chat stream if that makes sense for me, or makes sense for you. So I want you to understand that even though you have a defined target audience, great 1 and 2, Celia, even though you have a defined target audience, your target audience is still going to have segments within it. So when I ask you this first question, and I tell you attraction begins with definition, you can't take social media interactions and convert them into paying clients if you don't have specific definition of exactly who you're trying to target and what you're trying to sell them. So we're really beginning with our end in mind right now. So my question for you is, who do you want to focus on in your target audience? Who do you want to focus on for yourself in this season? So for me, this is how I go about it. When I'm trying to figure this out for myself, I figure out what do I want to focus on, who needs that, and what do I offer them. So if I'm going to focus in on a specific lane, again, for an example, I could say, you know what? I know that a chunk of my audience right now is definitely dealing with discipline. They're definitely dealing with mindset issues, clarity, not sure what to work on. Some days they're motivated, some days they're not. Some days they're inspired, some days they're not. Some days they know what to work on, some days they're more confused than anybody else that they've ever heard of, right? So what we're trying to narrow in on is what specific angle do we want to work with our audience? And Rebecca asked me a question, is this a niche? This is a little different than a niche, because really what your niche is that's your specific angle of business. So I am a startup business mentor, and I'm a branding strategist. That is my niche. I help startup business owners develop their ideas and their giftings into sustainable businesses. So that's my niche, that's my lane. Branding strategy, startup business development, that's my niche, that's my lane. My target audience is goal-driven individuals who have a very specific gifting that serves a very specific type of clientele that wants to build a business from it. So I can help those people with startup business development and branding strategy. So I understand my niche, I understand my target audience. What we're doing here is we're going one step further, and we're saying, all right, we know what we do. I know who I serve globally, but I also now need to look at that audience and say, not all these people are the same. There are certain groups of people here that are wrestling with different things. Some people are wrestling with this and need help with that. Some people are wrestling with this and need help with that. This is why my content evolves and changes week by week by week by week. Sometimes I spend certain weeks really narrowing in on mindset and focus and discipline. Other weeks I'll focus really heavily on branding strategy and branding tips and branding processes. Then I'll spend another week on social media marketing, growing an audience, how to be great with Facebook, how to attract people to your content, that type of thing. Then sometimes I'll go really heavy on personal development in general, goal setting. So I do that not because I'm trying to just get my arms around my entire audience and give them everything they need. The reason why I do that is because I know that there's specific segments of my audience that need certain conversations. So I want to be able to help those people and meet them where they are. So what I want you to ask yourself is, of all the things that you can be offering your audience right now, what is something that you really, really want to narrow in on? So for me, I could narrow in on mindset and discipline. So if I wanted to really focus on mindset and discipline, then I can say, all right, really, what's the point of this? Who needs this? The people that need help with mindset and discipline are entrepreneurs or startup business owners who need to learn how to act like real business owners. That's the problem. There's a bunch of people out there that want to call themselves entrepreneurs, and they have an idea, or they have a vision, or they have a business concept that they either want to start or they already have started. The problem is they just think they're still thinking like an employee waiting for someone to tell them what to do. They need to actually start thinking and acting like a business owner, because until they start thinking and acting like a real business owner, that business will never get off the ground. So that's a particular focus for me. I could be like, all right, I want to narrow in on that. I really want to go after those specific individuals who have great ideas and great vision, but they lack discipline, structure, and mindset. So I can focus on that. So then maybe I create something called a new business owner boot camp. And maybe I go through like a 4-week series where I do a boot camp for startup business owners, or we work on you and developing you into the business owner that's going to be necessary to make your business and take your business forward. So that's an example. That's an idea. So I could focus on mindset and discipline. I could target entrepreneurs who need to learn how to act like business owners, and I could offer them a new business owner boot camp. That could be a product that I could create. Another idea is I could say, all right, maybe it's not mindset that I want to focus on right now. Maybe I want to narrow more towards content strategy and sales. Maybe a larger chunk of my audience right now isn't really dealing with mindset stuff. Maybe they're more dealing with, what do I sell and how do I sell it? I don't know what steps to take, Justin. I'm clear, I'm focused, I'm disciplined, but I'm not sure what to create. I'm not sure what to offer right now. So maybe that's what they need. So who needs that is content creators who need help with marketing and selling a signature program. Maybe they don't know what their signature program is. Maybe they don't know what else to offer. Maybe you're a one-trick pony where you've only ever offered one thing and you don't know what your next thing should be. You don't know how to branch out and create some new outlets for your business. So maybe you need to create a secondary sales strategy. And so that's something that I could focus on. So if I was going to do that, I could say, all right, well, maybe I do a Monetize Your Mind Masterclass. Maybe I do a 4-week series on how to monetize your mind. I could do my 7-day challenge again, right? But am I making sense right now with you guys, where it's important as a marketer and as a content creator, you've got to understand, it's important to understand your lane and your niche, obviously, and it's important to understand your target audience and who your target audience is, but you can't look at your target audience singularly every single day. imagining that they all have the same problem, they all have the same desires, they all have the same motivation, they're all looking for the same thing, because they're not. This is why it's hard to sell stuff in certain seasons, and then it's easier to sell stuff in others. Some people do tremendous through certain seasons of the year, but that's because they're only focusing their effort and their message and their content to their global audience. So they're only really narrowing to one specific chunk of that group. And so when that group is inspired with what you're talking about, then they're all in. But then in the seasons where they shift focus, you got to shift focus with them. You got to be constantly giving people something to think about, all right? So very important to think about this. Who or what do you want to focus on? If you are a health and wellness coach, okay, health and wellness is a big thing. What do you want to narrow your focus on? What do you want to help people specifically with? Is it a summer, maybe you want to focus on cleansing the body. So there's all the things that you can do, right? But maybe right now in this season, maybe you want to spend the month of July focusing on cleansing. And so you could say, you know what, I could create a 4-week clean eating challenge or detox. Maybe it's detox and refresh your whatever. I'm not a health and wellness person, so that's not my thing. But that's something that you can narrow in on. If you're a if you're a spiritual biblical life coach, right? Which I have a lot of clients that are that. There's a million things that you could be talking about, right? So what would you want to focus on in this season? Not meaning I'm not saying that you need to like narrow down your target audience to even tighter target audience. I'm just saying with your target audience, who do you really want to help right now? Who do you really want to focus on right now? Camille says, how do we not look at our target audience through a single lens? It's tricky. Right, and it is tricky. That's why I'm spending time on this topic, because I want to make sure that you get this. It's important for us as content marketers to be aware of the different things our audience could be dealing with, and then we want to create things that are specific and timely to what we really want to focus on right now. So, like using the example of the health and wellness coach, if you're a health and wellness coach, there's a lot of things that you can do, from weight loss to slimming down to getting toned up to workouts to muscle building to diet plans to all the things that you can do. But then you're like, you know what? I realize that there's a lot of people that are trying to lose weight and they're trying to slim down, but they haven't detoxed. They're still carrying all these toxins from bad dieting. So maybe before we go into the season of workout and weight loss, maybe we need to spend a season on detoxing. So you're narrowing your focus on what you want to actually share and teach right now. And it's important to get this first, because then content and everything else follows. Really what we're trying to establish is, what do I want to sell right now? Right? Like, what do I want to sell right now? If I'm a business coach, Justin, if all I ever sell is a branding package, that's it, that's all I ever sell, then I'll have a group of people that'll buy branding packages from me, but I'm missing out on so much potential business because I'm not diversifying myself into really providing things that people need. One of the things that I created at the very beginning of this year has been one of the most lucrative programs I've ever created, was called a tech support bundle. Because I have people that have grown up in their business and they're handling their business well. They're not struggling with their mind. They're not struggling with creativity. They're establishing their influence. They're making money. They're building their business. But what they continue to struggle with is simply their lack of ability in technology. So I have people that hire me for the tech support package because that's what they need. But if the only thing that I offered was a branding package with mentoring and coaching and all the things that go along with a branding package, that person who just simply needs tech support may not invest in me, because I'm not providing them something that they can sink their teeth into that's necessary for what their needs are. So it's important for us as marketers to think about, what types of things can I create so that I'm constantly giving my audience options. All right? Options are important. So, what are you going to focus on right now? What specific thing can you narrow in? And I'd love to you guys to put in the chat stream. Give me some ideas on what you're thinking, because I don't want to leave this point until I make sure that you get it. So let's say you had 4 weeks, 1 month to focus on one topic or one specific theme in your business. What's one of the most comfortable things that you are comfortable talking about or teaching on? What is one of the best things that you have to offer right now? Drop it in the chat stream. Give me some ideas. I'm thinking about, like, I have a client of mine who does tax preparation and bookkeeping. So maybe someone like that who does tax prep, bookkeeping, they do all these things. Maybe they could focus on, doing a 30-day or a 4-week series on how to set up your books to, I don't know how you would call it, but basically how to set up systems to manage your taxes and books all throughout the year, so you're not having a huge struggle at the end of the year, right? Because a lot of people get through the whole year, and then they get to December or January, like, oh my gosh, I got to figure out all my taxes. But if you do it all throughout the year, it's so much easier. It's just so much easier. So Rebecca Cook, she's an Enneagram coach. So Enneagram, so the Enneagram piece, there's a lot of different varieties of ways that you can use the Enneagram, and a lot of people don't even know what an Enneagram is. So for you, Rebecca, something that might be a good focus for you is to say how to apply the Enneagram model to your marriage and your children, what it can do in your family, how learning the Enneagram model and what it can do for your family relationships or something like that. So you're going to narrow down on all the things that Enneagram can do, and you're going to narrow in on, let's see how the Enneagram model can really, really help families, husbands, wives, and children. Bonnie says, breaking through procrastination, anxiety, and overwhelm. Yep. That's absolutely a focal point, because that's something that people are dealing with. Michelle says positive mindset, especially in the midst of trials. So, positive mindset, especially in the midst of trials. Mindset's a thing, isn't it? Right now, see that with so many people. Mindset's absolutely a thing. What I'm thinking about with yours, Michelle, is what I'm really looking at, and really this is what you need to look at for yourself, is what will people pay for? What will people pay for? Like when I say, I think I want to focus on content strategy and sales. I want to work with content creators who need help marketing and selling a signature program, so I could do a Monetize Your Mind masterclass. People will pay for that because I'm going to teach them something that they desperately want to know so they can better their business and better their life. Even the mindset and discipline piece. If I really show entrepreneurs that one of the number one reasons why they're struggling to grow in their business is because they're still thinking and acting like employees rather than like business owners, and that there's some specific things that they must learn how to do, and there's some specific mindset hacks that they must be able to adapt to really become highly successful and highly efficient in their business. So I'm going to do a new business owner boot camp and teach you how to do that and think like that. People will pay for that. So when you're thinking about your focus, whatever it is you want to focus on, you want to ask yourself, all right, what do I want to focus on? Who needs this? And you might even ask yourself why. Who needs this and why do they need it? And then ask yourself, what could I offer them? What could I sell them? Because, like, for example, with Michelle says she really wants to focus on positive mindset, especially in the midst of trials. All right, so if your focus is on positive mindset, definitely in the midst of trials, what it sounds to me like you're saying is that you want to work with people who are facing or have faced some significant adversity in their life, and you want to teach them how to maintain a positive mindset even amidst the challenges that they're facing. Okay, that's who you're wanting to focus on. So the question there is, why is a positive mindset so important? What will a positive mindset do for your life? How will that impact the life that they're currently living? Because the life that they're currently living is laced with trial, tribulation, and struggle. So basically, you're gonna have to convince them of why a positive mindset will change their life. And then you have to establish what it is, what do you want to sell, what can you sell that they would be willing to purchase. And they have to believe in that, right? They have to have a belief that you're going to be able to help them out of a situation. Bonnie says breaking through procrastination, anxiety, and overwhelm. So with Bonnie's focus, Bonnie's like, all right, I want to help probably women break through procrastination, anxiety, and overwhelm. So my first question is, if they're procrastinating, they have anxiety, and they're overwhelmed, that sounds to me like they're trying to do something that they're not doing. They're procrastinating on doing what they need to do, or they're overwhelmed trying to do what they think they need to do. So first of all, what is it that they are trying to do? Is it their homes? Is it their kids? Is it their families? Is it their marriage? What are they overwhelmed with? What are they procrastinating on? What do they have anxiety about? And so I want to narrow what exactly are they dealing with and trying to accomplish. What is procrastination, anxiety, and overwhelm doing to them? And then what are you going to help them with that's going to be so appealing that they're going to be like, I need that. I need that. All right? So I'm going to take you to our second piece. My second point of the day is once you establish what you are going to focus on, you identify who needs that, why they need it, and what you could offer them. Then the second piece is you want to ask yourself, what do you want to lead them to that they're going to want and need? What can you lead them to that they're going to want and need? And that's what you're selling. Is want and need are two different things. Now, if you can create something that people want it and they need it, that's tremendously powerful. But you can go, and I know you guys can relate to this. You can see something or experience something or be offered something that you want but don't feel like you need. You can see that and you can be like, oh man, I really want that. I really want that so bad, but I don't know. It's probably not the right time. I don't know if the investment's necessary right now. Probably not. Don't need that right now. I would really like that. I really would love to have that, but I don't know. May not. I guess it's not a need right now, and vice versa. You can need something but not want it. So you can see something that's offered to you, and you can be like, man, I need that so bad. It'd be so good for my marriage. It'd be so good for my health. I know it'd be so helpful, but I just don't know if I want to commit the time to that right now. It's middle of summer. I mean, we got the kids, we got the stuff, we got the vacation coming up. I don't know if I want to commit that energy. I don't know if I want to commit that time. I don't know if I want to spend that money here because I have this money saved here. I don't know if I want to allocate those funds to this. Do y'all see that difference? It's so important to see that difference. You have to recognize that there are things that people will want but may not feel like they need, and there's things that people will feel like they need but not necessarily want for whatever reason. And that's where you have to understand your audience. This is where you have to take those questions and you have to apply them to your individual audience. And you have to ask yourself, what does my audience want right now? And what do they need? What can I focus on? Who can I focus on? And then what can I offer them that they're going to want and need? That's the key to selling. You've got to find something that creates such an appeal that it moves people to be like, I want that and I need that. Because if you want something and you need it, you'll do whatever you need to do to get it. I mean, that's just the way it is. But what stops people is their own minds. What stops people is the debate that goes on in their heads. When someone's gonna make a purchase decision, they immediately start a debate in their brains about whether this is a necessary investment. Maggie says, I have counseling clients who just need coaching and have coaching clients that really need counseling. Right. Absolutely right. So it's very important for you to recognize this with your audience. And usually, if you have created something that you were struggling to sell, it's probably because the audience that you're marketing to either doesn't feel like they need it or they don't feel like they want it. One or the other. That's the problem. The good news is that you've narrowed your problem down so you know how to fix it. This is where you need to really ask yourself, what can I sell? What can I offer? What can I bundle that's going to provide my audience with something that they want and they need? Now, the way you approach those two things is different. When you to really stir up the want factor, that's where marketing and appeal comes in. That's where exclusivity comes in. That's where value comes in. You build the value. You really you show people something, man. If you could just sink your teeth in this thing, if you spend this amount of time with me, or you were able to get your hands on this product, or you're able to do this is what it's going to do for you, and this is how it works, and this is what it did for me, and blah blah blah. And you share all that. That's what builds up the want factor. Right, all the marketing, all the pretty marketing, all the flashy stuff, all the details, all the whys, all the questions, the landing page, all that stuff. builds the want factor. We go after want first, all right? Because want's what draws them in. Because we are a human race that's built on instant gratification. Like, we see things and we want them and we go after them because we want them, right? That's just how we are. That's how we're wired. That's why that's why visual is such a powerful thing. Video and ads and imagery and all the things, because it's capturing your attention. You're like, oh, I want that, right? So it attracts it to you. So marketing goes after the want factor. But you can't just focus on the want, because a lot of people will not buy simply on want. They also have to establish in their mind that they need it. And need is where you have to get really good at communicating. Need, it takes a little bit more effort to build up. You got to build up that mindset that I don't just want this, but I need this. This is necessary for my life. This is necessary for my marriage. This is necessary for my health. This is necessary for my business. This is necessary for me to whatever that is. All right. So want and need is important. So what I want to challenge you with, I want to challenge you to take some time to think about these questions. First question is, who are you going to focus on? What lane do you want to narrow in on with your audience? What is your focus? Who needs that particular focus? And what could you offer them? And that second question is, what can you offer them that they're going to want and need? I want to take questions this morning, because I know this is a thick subject, and I want to be able to answer whatever questions that you have. And I want to look back through some of these comments real quick. Bonnie said, Bonnie offers life coaching to help people change their thoughts so they can achieve their goals and stop self-sabotaging themselves. I offer life coaching to help people change their thoughts so they can achieve their goals and stop self-sabotaging themselves. Okay? So self-sabotage is the thing. So maybe instead of focusing on, you know what, Bonnie, maybe instead of focusing on procrastination, anxiety, and overwhelm, maybe you do a series on self-sabotage. How many of you women that are watching this right now could relate to self-sabotage? Would you guys be willing to put in the chat stream if that's you? Put me in the chat stream. As anybody, really. Guys, too. The only reason I say women is because Bonnie, I think, focuses on women. But I'm just curious, how many of y'all would be interested? Like, let's say you had a great personal relationship. Let's say it's me. Let's say you know me. You follow me. You watch my content. If I said, you know what, guys, I'm thinking about doing an entire week series on how to beat self-sabotage. Is that an interesting topic to you? Is that something that you would be interested in listening to? Yes. I mean, yes or no? Tell me no. I mean, you can say no in the chat stream. Because again, to prove my point, not everybody deals with the same thing. So you may be brainstorming some different topics, and you might say, you know what, would you guys be interested in getting some help with self-sabotage? And some people may be like, yeah, definitely. And then others might be like, no, not really. And that's normal. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Because everybody's dealing with some different things. What you need to figure out is you need to figure out with your audience what is one of the most common and significant needs that your audience has right now. And last week I established with my audience one of the most common and significant needs that my audience needed was some mindset and a reset of getting our goals reestablished for the year. Because we've gone through this whole thing. The whole first half of the year was just stupid. It was crazy. It was disruptive. It was all the things. And so all these people go into January with all these big goals, and all of a sudden you realize the year is half over, and I haven't progressed on anything that I was hoping to progress on. So now what do I do? Where do I go? Where do I start? How would I move forward from here? And so I knew that's an issue, a mindset issue. So I spent a whole week last week focusing on mindset. Or maybe it was 2 weeks ago, and we did our mid-year reset with my tribe, and we got everybody reset in our mind, so everybody's refocused and realigned. That's important. Now we need to figure, all right, where do we go from here? What's the next step? Maggie says, Bonnie, it is a real issue. I see people caught in the cycle of sabotage all the time. So, that's my homework for you is this, y'all. My homework for you is to think about, in this season right now, where do you want to put your focus? What is something that you see a variety of audience members of yours dealing with, or women dealing with, or men dealing with, or marriages dealing with, or families dealing with, or people with their health, or their businesses, whatever your lane is, whatever your niche is, what specific thing do you really see a common problem with that you have a solution for, and what could you offer people? Now, the offer thing is, that's why I only did these 2 points today, because it's important for you to think about, what could I be selling? You know, what could I be selling right now? Do I want to create a coaching program? Do I want to create an online academy that covers self-sabotage? Do I want to do a 4-week clean eating and body cleansing workshop? Do I want to do a mindset masterclass? Do I want to have an event, a local event? Do I want to have an online event? Do I want to create some sort of a whatever? Do I want to write a book and sell it? What do you want to sell? What do you want to offer? It's important for you to establish that up front before we go into any of the other questions, because without that clarity, nothing else will make sense. So with all of y'all, your homework for today, my mission for you today, is to simply establish, what do you want to narrow in on in this season right now, in wrapping up June, headed into July? What do you want to focus on in the season, and what ideas do you have for what you could sell if you were to really create a great content strategy to lead people to an offer? You want to learn how to turn social media interactions into paying clients. We got to establish what these paying clients are going to be buying before we can figure out how to attract them and lead them to it. Does that make sense? All right. So that's what I got for you today. All that is your mission. That is your homework. As always, my points, I'm going to put them in my app. So as soon as this is done, this video will be live on YouTube, or it'll be recorded on YouTube, as well as in my podcast, as well as in my app. So if you guys don't currently have the JC Pro app, go to your Apple App Store or Google Play, look up Justin Kaplan Pro. You can download my app. If you go in there, I have a lot of great, valuable stuff in there, guys, for you, and it's free. My app is free, but if you go in there, you're going to see a piece right at the top called, what do I even call it? Hang on, let me get my app open. I'll show you. Call it Training Library. So if you go into my app, click on Training Library, and this broadcast is going to be right up here at the top. And if you click in there, all my notes for this broadcast are going to be right in there where you can get them. So if you want to get access to my notes, that's the best place to do so. And to get those, I'm going to leave you with that for today. I'll be right back here tomorrow to talk on part 2 of the client conversion formula. Tomorrow, we're going to talk a little bit more about that person, about that audience, about their pain points, about your triggers, and how to create a environment in your content that people just can't help but take a step towards you. All right, so that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. But to get to tomorrow, you've got to get some ideas down about what you could be selling. All right, I'm going to leave you with that for today, guys. Have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for your time. I know 45 minutes of your time is so incredibly valuable, so be intentional with your time today. Be intentional with your talent. Do the homework that I gave you, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow. All right, take care. God bless. I'll see you guys later.